his company. He's done a lot of terrible things. He's hurt a lot of people. And I aim to see him pay. I hope he's not that important to you. He seemed more important to the others, the dwarf, for instance.
He's important in different ways. And,
what's going to happen when he's hanged?
I'm gonna try and see to it that that doesn't happen. But
you just said that you're okay with him receiving what's been owed. That
yes,
you don't mind.
There's a difference between what I believe has been owed and what you believe has been owed, though.
Enlighten me. What do you know that I don't?
I see all of the kills he's done as collateral, as accident, and I don't believe that a murder that's by accident should be paid by hanging. And the other murders, they were not even proven to be true, just seen by someone. Seen by someone who can't even prove they were there.
Do you just think that people can accidentally kill anyone wherever and they get to walk away scot-free?
Not scot-free, but I don't believe they should be murdered for it.
There has been no attempt of repentance. Nothing has been salvaged for these people that have lost.
You know Griffin's wife? How she miraculously returned?
Yes.
That was the collateral for his death. That was what he had done. Now, I know she's not happy about it. I saw we were close to the family. But we're not all bad. And I think you and the guard captain are focusing more on what bad is happening instead of what good we're doing. And I know I'm not going to change your mind. I just...
If I key down here and write down every good thing versus every bad thing that you've done, it's still majorly stacked in the favor of bad. Just because you saved one person does not relieve you of the other crimes that have been committed. You have lied. You have cheated, stolen, murdered. These are villainous actions. There are laws in place for a very reason. Now, I'm just going to take at face value that your attempts here are to just discern and understand what's happening to your friend.
That would be a fair assumption. I want to know if there's a way I can go about helping him, or if you are set in stone on having
prove his innocence. If he's actually innocent, then prove it. Because I don't believe he is.
By the look in your eyes, even that won't be enough to save him.
If your friend, Jakob, if that rat bastard didn't run from me, as often as he's tried, when being caught in a lie, red-handed, blood before him, then I wouldn't have to do this. The guard has been an ally to the dwarfs, to the old man, wherever he's gone, that you keep in your company.
Yeah.
Somewhere in Jared's heart, he's been misguided, and he believes you to be friends of this town, of the people, and of himself. And he's willing to bend and break the law in favor of keeping you around. Now, I'm not saying that you are completely and truly evil. I believe that some of you have done some very good things. I would even go as far as saying that some of you are innocent of your crimes. But Jakob is not innocent of his crimes. And I don't know what you face. I don't know what trials are before you. But I know what trial is before him. And I know what he's been accused of. By far more than just two people. They continue to roll in. And I wish I could tell you, but that would be allowing evidence and people that are important to this potential trial to fall into the hands of those that can manipulate.
I don't plan on manipulating. I just want to make sure that everyone that comes to you knows and isn't just falling into some mindset that they're right because everyone else says so.
They're going to hear it out. I don't know who it is. I wish I did. I wish I could sway their minds, because I actually believe that Jacob Rivers is a terrible plight on Cauldron. He uses magic to cover up his misdeeds.
And you don't use magic to cover up?
To cover up what?
I'm going to drop my hood and I'm going to say, look, I'm not perfect. I have to use magic to cover up myself. Not because I'm hiding anything, but because if I show the world who I really am, then they're going to scatter. They're going to fight. They're going to flee.
She steps to you immediately. She closes the distance. She doesn't draw her weapon, but she puts a finger right pretty much on your collarbone. I don't see what you are as a problem. The people that come through this town are different than you or even I. It doesn't matter whose skin you walk in, where you were born, or what you have done. Immediately, aside from the fact that you've abided by the law, you cannot freely walk around this town, killing people, expecting to walk away unscathed. I will not allow it. And I'll fall before it gets to continue. That is not a threat to you or to yours. That's merely a promise. This matters too much to me because I don't think that there are people above me that are doing their job, even above Jacob. Even above Jared. They're manipulating too many things, and I can see it. I can sense it. Now, I don't necessarily believe that you're all that bad. You've probably done terrible things. You're in his company. I don't want to know.
It's best we don't talk about it.
If it comes out, I will hold you accountable. You will be judged. And if you are free, because nothing's happened, if you find yourself on the right side of the law, then I don't have to hunt you down. But I would like to think that you would face me, like you have now, as opposed to use blatant trickery, illusion, and magic to flee from me.
We're both
That's the problem. You're far more a man than he is.
Well, I think you just don't realize how much control we have over him. Our party. I think you think he's running free and rampant, and you don't realize how much of an extension of us he is. And I realize that's going to make us all sound like we're criminals and...
It does.
Bad.
I'm choosing not to paint you with broad swaths as just bad as him. Others might. They might look at you and say, well, she's demonic. She has to be evil.
Oh, I wouldn't even try and go into town alone. You mentioned that there are many powers that are swaying the tides above you and above Jared. What plan you on taking over? Quenching this place of everything that is bad?
It's far above me, and I can't punch up that far. All I can do is hope that the people are abiding by what core tenets of existence for us is. If we just freely get to walk around and maim, harm, or kill those that we disagree with, it doesn't make a difference what separates us from the animals outside these walls. If everyone here unites against the powers that are above, we might actually find a way to fix this town, aside from having people leave and die daily. Now, I have many problems with this place, and I wish to not spin any thread or web of thought of that now. There's not enough alcohol between us at this point that could maneuver my thoughts in this situation. It could change my feelings. Because I'd certainly have to drown myself. I A part of me wants to believe that there is more to Jakob than meets the eye. But he's made too many mistakes. And I understand the need to protect yourself, even to the point of taking another's life. But you have to explain it. You have to reach out to the proper authorities and explain why you've done what you've done so we can be on your side. If he was just defending himself, then it's that. There are guards that are reporting that he summoned dark apparitions. Some said that they were like tentacles from the floor of the tavern. They were lucky enough to avoid it, but a child didn't. Now, I don't know what he's done for the family. It sounds as if you have an understanding that he has brought their wife back. That's great. That's wonderful. I'm happy that you've reunited them. They've needed that. But more than anything, you brought a family back together by taking another. Or at least he did. It does not equate.
Nope. I'm not going to say that they were equal. And I'm not going to say that what we did was right or wrong. But I just want to show that we didn't just kill somebody just for cold blood. It's not like we're trying to murder everybody. That anything that's good we try and vanquish, whether it's murder or not. There is always some upside to it, and we can prove that Jakob is not just a murderer. He's not just someone out to kill everybody. And if that's what it's going to take in court, and if it happens to make it there, then so be it. It won't be that tough. I just don't want you having your mind set on murdering him for the rest of eternity because you believe you caught him red-handed when his hands are always red.
I don't want to look at this situation as if he has been colored in the situation as anything other than what it looks like. He didn't even attempt to deliver an opportunity. Anything. There was no chance of him, oh, I found it this way. The boy stabbed the man, and then he stabbed himself. And I saw through it. He knew that I saw through it. Why would he run?
He's a coward. He doesn't want to face. He doesn't want to try and explain himself, and he sees it easier to run away from his problems than to face them. That makes him young and stupid and naive. That doesn't make him guilty.
Well, that's just one case. There are, at this point, 103 counts of murder held against him. And one dog, interestingly enough.
I don't know 103 people in this town.
I know a few. Not that many. But there are people that are standing in line, ready to dole out justice. And I'm just here to make sure that they can be heard.
Stay a while and listen.
And that he accepts his fate. If he's innocent. You and your allies will determine this, because he can't currently defend himself. And there will be no one there to defend him. He will be weighed. He will be measured, and they will hang him. I'll be there to make sure that there is no foul play, that nothing goes accidentally wrong, and I'll help keep the peace, as I intended.
I now worry that the jury you guys choose is going to be a bit one-sided coming into the battle, due to the fact that if there's 103 cases, and so many people have left town, there isn't anyone left to call them good.
It's certainly
And if
stacked against him.
against his side, then he's walking into a death sentence before he even gets his trial.
Find proof. Find proof that they're lying and that everything that we know at this point is wrong. Find proof. That's all else I can tell you. If he's completely innocent, then he'll walk. He will not be hanged. Is that all you'd like to say to me?
You mentioned that there's not enough ale between us. And I think that that should be arranged sometime. That aside, nothing else.
Maybe I'm misunderstanding your intentions.
We should go out for a drink sometime. Not to talk of this. Not to talk of important news, just... You seem like someone I would rather know than just have this conversation where I'm trying to convince you or show you that we're not all that bad. I'd like to actually get to know you. Regardless of what happens to my friend.
Well, no one's taken me for a drink in a long time. Not that I've given them much of a chance.
You seem like you're a very busy woman.
There are a lot of hurt people. Unfortunately, there isn't much rest for someone that holds justice above all else.
And no rest for the wicked.
You're not wrong. I didn't catch your name.
Thelsa. I'm going to extend a hand to shake.
She won't touch your hand. She'll just nod. I'll think about that drink. Good night, Thelsa. And she walks off.
I'm going to say, you know where to find me before I turn and walk.
Okay.
That was surprisingly more civil than I was expecting.
Yeah, I'm not fitting to kill her. Even if Jacob dies, I mean... Might as well have friends. Yeah, she even said she doesn't want to kill me, and hey, someone that can see through my lies and not want to kill me is a good person in my...
So the people that are good in your book are the people who take deals with demons. That's what you're getting at.
Are willing to. Whether you do or not is regardless. It just so happens that I...
Look, you just have to be offered to sell your soul for, you know, the rest of eternity to a demon.
Or a year.
You know. You see where you go from there.
All right. Ulhime, you had one last thing you wanted to take care of. I'm assuming it's one last thing. Before we head onto the returning of the group, correct?
It was just one other thing, but I don't know if we'll have time for the...
We'll see. One. We'll see whatever happens. I mean, we started a little late. I don't mind running a little bit longer.
All right.
I'll just find a good stopping point.
I'll blow up the whole tavern.
Oh my god. Holy, okay. All right, that's going to look really bad for Jacob. Oh my god. Listen, they can't talk about anyone dying if they're already dead. You know what I'm saying? Boom!
He's just like, I walk into the tavern and I slam Griffith's wife's head into the table.
For my friend.
I pull down the suit. Malgrim pops out. Ha ha! It found me.
Every time.
But yeah, as I walk in,
yeah.
No hearty hellos or anything. I walk straight up to the bar, and I stand there waiting for either Griffin, his wife, or Elliot to notice.
Elliot's tending the bar. Griffin,
sorry.
Griffin and his wife aren't to be seen. Elliot sees you, and he looks away. He tends to another patron at first, and doesn't say anything.
I'll stand there, wait. No, I'm gonna wait.
Okay. He kind of side-eyes you a few times, looking over. The patron will move over to a different table, clearing a spot at the bar.
I'll slow walk, like kind of meet up to where the last patron was at, and just stare at him. And then you'll see like the little glowing orbs like focus in.
Listen, I'm not supposed to talk to you.
I'm not here to talk to you. I'm here to talk to your parents. Where are they?
They're in the back now discussing things. You're not supposed to be here.
He just turns and starts walking.
You're not allowed back there. No, you. And you just make your way past the door. You push by. He follows up and shuts the door quickly behind you. Mom! Dad! Griffin's head appears out the door. Yes? And then he sees you, and as quickly as it popped out, it returns back.
He
There's
keeps walking in.
hushed whispers. And the woman moves over to the door. She stands. Immediately in power stance. One foot in front of the other, hands on hips, elbows out in the doorframe.
The room where they're at, is there there's like a table and stuff set up, right?
There was basically a small bed. There was a much larger bed in the room, but it has some amenities available to them. They even have a mirror. A few pots that have been covered by cloth. Not much in the way of like a stool or anything like that.
As she's like, I guess she's essentially blocking Griffin from me, right?
Griffin can see you. You can see him, but
Okay.
she's preventing you from walking further into the room.
Oh, I'll walk and I get up to her. I'll put my gauntlet hand out and literally just.
You're just gonna physically move her.
Yeah, just.
She doesn't
gently
move.
Glide.
Unless you physically move her.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Okay,
Like,
then
I will use essentially like my divine strength to kind of just like slide her to the
then
side.
give me a CMB. Let's see if you can beat her defense. It's not going to be a ton. I believe you'll be able to do it quickly. You best her defense. The moment that you channel your divine strength, you quickly move forward and shift her out of the way. She starts raising contention to this idea. She's not okay with it. And you see Griffin stand up from the bed. Just, take your hands off me, wife. And you can see for the first time the very mild-mannered, meek man stand angrily so. He just got his wife back. And now you've shifted her out of the way. His fists are clenched. He doesn't. You can tell he's not fought in a long time.
Yeah. As that happens,
She says, "What do you think you're doing? What is this? Put me down."
I would just once again, like I said, I'm not like grabbing her. It's literally like a sliding backhand kind of thing, like just like excuse me, like you're in the way kind of thing.
Full speed.
No, I'm not doing that full speed. It's literally just to like slide her.
Fucking slap the
outside of
shit
the
out
way.
of her. Griffin, we need to talk.
Griffin says,
Same thing.
You're not allowed here. You were banned. You and your friends."
As he starts to talk, I'll channel that energy and cast my bolstering aura, but it'll pop when it comes out this time. It's not like the subtle light, it just pops and you just hear
Sure. He kind of shudders a bit to it, like he reacts in a way that he's a little afraid of the situation.
Mm-hmm.
But one, in front of his wife, and two, I mean, you broke into his home.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like he's at this point, you've cornered a man in his own home. So
No, I'm just kidding.
as afraid as he is,
Yeah, he's in
waiting.
defensive mode, yeah.
yeah. Your magics are gonna scare me. No.
Good. Then with your resolve as it is, we can still talk reasonably. And he shudders the aura.
Ain't nothing reasonable about breaking into a man's home, especially if you ain't invited. You can't do that. That's wrong. And I thought yous were better than that.
Do you know why I'm here?
I could venture to guess.
Then say it.
He looks to his wife, and his wife chimes in. It's because I've accused your friend of killing my son. And he did. Didn't he? Didn't he?
He slow turns and looks back at her. And he kind of looks down to the gauntlet shoulder. And he holds it with his other hand. I'm afraid to say, but yes, you're correct.
Are you making this visible to her?
Yeah. He's like as she says it, because I mean, Jimothy's fighting right now, so seeing as he looks to it, it's just a constant reminder. So he kind of looks to it and he kind of like holds the face to kind of like comfort in a sense. Not showing if it's going to really do anything, but holds it in comfort.
Look, it's your dead son. Be happy now.
And he places his hand down.
There's a pause before she finally looks over to your shoulder where you've kind of focused your attention. And you can see that her eyes affix and train immediately on your armor. And her frustration, her fears melt. Visibly so. Her eyes begin to well. Pools of water begin to form up around her eyes, and she takes a step forward, and her hands kind of gingerly shift upward and touch your armor. She says, "My boy." And she looks over to Griffin, and Griffin's swallowing his... I saw it. It's him. It's him. She looks back to Griffin, and then back to you. Wipes her eyes with her arm. Why? Why is his face here?
He fights in my realm, even as we speak.
No, our son is dead.
Your son's body is gone, but he had a resolve far stronger than that of his mortal coil. And he had a faith in me, which is why I'm still here now.
He's not here. He's not here anymore. I didn't get to see him. I had to come back to find out that he was slain by the very person that freed me. Am I supposed to swallow this and be happy?
Ulhime shakes his head.
I would have stayed! I would have stayed, knowing that he was happy and alive. It doesn't matter. I miss my boy. And the waterworks just kind of pile on at this point. You can see the tears starting to cry, and Griffin's hands free up immediately, and he rushes over and holds his wife, who is now more or less like crooning into his chest.
Mm-hmm. As that happens, he kind of just turns to them, and then as they come together, do you think that's what we came into the tavern that night for, to murder your son, to take him from you? To bring you from one hell into another? Is that what you think my friend did to you.
Griffin chimes in. I respect my wife's wishes, and she felt like it needed to be told. Because we've seen what you and yours have done for this town and against it. We've seen the broken buildings, the fires, the bodies, how the giant steel worm guards have died. And no one said anything about it. But you came back here, night after night. Maybe not you yourself, but them, with Master Klaus. And before it was Shackled. There were many others that I trusted. I gave him breaks. I let him stay because Shackled was good to me. And I believe that any friend of Shackled was a friend of mine. And now people say things about my establishment. I'm lucky that Scott has left us as much money as he has. His business has dropped. There's tales of a creature that stays in one of the rooms, and it's not true. I ain't seen nothing of the sort. The guards don't come. Not that there's many of them left. Some of them's died. Hell, even the working women's have gone on to another tavern. They've gone to the cusp, and they says as they weren't going to go there. They had something good here. I don't care about me business. I care about me family. I can live on what Shackled has left behind. For many generations, my son's sons, well, my son and his potential sons, live for a long time comfortably. But Jimmy V will never see that. He'll never know a family outside of this. He won't get to be a man, make his own decisions. And my wife felt as if someone needed to be told. So she told the guard captain. And you can be mad at me all you like. She won't rescind. I just still don't know what you mean by fighting in your land or protecting your realm. But Jimothy was a good boy. And he was going to be a scholar, a smart one that could read and help people and write books. And it was taken away by your friend. Thank you for bringing back my wife. But she cries every night. Every night I wake up and she's sitting at the foot of the bed. She's in tears, knowing that she was saved by the person who took our son. You see the pain that we're in. Because there's other people in this town that's probably feeling the same. Or others that don't get to sleep at night either. Because you take. And some of you rarely give back. And I saw it firsthand.
Can I try something?
Oh boy, here we go.
You want to see your son?
Can
Let
I-
me show you.
Can I try to use a summon monster spell to summon him for like a very short duration?
Well, he's not a monster.
Wait, he's not?
But let me take a look at your spells.
I have Stone Skin and Summon Monster 6.
Why have you not used that?
And I can try to... if anything, I can try burning both of them at the same time to see if I can use the domain power to kind of use that to essentially contact them for a little bit. If you're cool with it.
I'm gonna see what this is.
How have you gone so many combat sessions and you never brought us a friend, Ronald?
I have. The first one was to bring back Jimothy, and this is essentially how all that started.
All right. What I'm going to need from you... What I'm going to need from you is... a cast of your divine power, your scrying, and I'm going to want the rest of your channel positives for the day.
No problem at all.
Yeah. Are you sure you want to do this?
Yeah. I mean, if they can get a few moments to talk with them or anything, then I'll do that. You said that divine scry? And
I want your scrying, your divine power, and the rest of your channels for the day.
Okay. No problem at all.
Describe to me what this looks like. Take control of the narrative.
So, as... knowing that the gauntlet itself is attached to, or was, I guess, part of Nadrama, who might have been connected to the plane in any way. He's going to start channeling as much power as he can. And just like before, he has the bolstering aura that comes out, but then it slowly fades, and like you see essentially magical ley lines going through the gauntlet.
Okay.
And then with that, you see a little orb form. And instead of it being the bluish hue of the scrying orb, it's a golden light, and then from there, it's drawing the symbol of Helm on the floor. I would say with the amount of power going through it, it's burning an etch into the floor, and then from there you see that would essentially be the spell being cast with divine power, giving that view. But this is like, I would say even in this form, the light from Ulhime's eyes is gone. Like he's channeling every bit of divinity into his gauntlet.
Sure.
And I would say I would even take damage from this. I would say if you're cool with it, like you see like cracks and stuff.
For every passing round, you're going to take a D8.
Okay.
So I need you to determine how long are you going to leave this open. This is the first time you've done this.
So it's every round is 6 seconds. So I'll say. I'll do 10d8 worth of damage.
Whew. It's a lot. You're right. That's a lot, and you're out of channels. Go ahead, roll it. Let's see, 10d8.
Sorry, that's 1. Let me re-roll the whole thing.
Sure. No, Krista, you can't. Not this time.
So 47.
Okay. The moment that you begin to do this, you can feel fractures in your skin.
Let me do more, because I don't feel like that's enough. I want to drop. I would just say I would cut my HP in half.
For how long are you hoping to hold this open?
I don't know. Just as long as I can. I would say, yeah, half of my HP's worth. I have 151. I don't think 47's really. Yeah.
Roll another 10d8.
Another 47.
Okay. You'll lose the equivalent of that, so 94. 94 of your hit points for 2 minutes.
Yeah, so I'm at 57 right now.
And it's not instantaneous. This isn't even a standard action.
Yeah.
The moment you begin casting the spell, it takes about 3 rounds for it to succeed. 3 rounds for it to become a visible scrying pool that seems to expand from your hand. And it seems to focus and enhance several times over before it shows a glimpse of a vacuous point in space. Empty. A figure standing alone. At least what you believe is alone. And it's the boy. It's Jimothy. Where he stands, he's clutching on to an instrument. You're not sure what it is, but it looks like he's holding it in a method of defense. His body is bedraggled. He looks like he's been cut several times over, bruised in various spots on his body. His clothes are torn to ribbons. But he looks different. It's not the Jimothy that you saw before he passed away. It's not even the Jimmy that had passed away. This looks a little more like, akin to like a little sister from BioShock.
Hey.
His eyes glow. His skin, this pallid gray. You see no reflexive movement in his chest. It's not like he's breathing at all. But then again, when you're dead, you don't have to breathe.
So he looks like me, but more beat.
He stands alone in a blank, empty void. Nebulous darkness shifts around him, like something awaits his movement. But he stands alone. You open this, and you can hear the space, the void.
I'll try to speak to him. Jimothy.
His neck flinches, and his head tightly turns to the left and right. Eyes casting a glow.
It's me. It's me, Ulhime. I'm here with your parents.
His lips move, but nothing comes out. You see a...
Yes.
Ulhime, it dawns on you that he didn't know his mother was back.
Okay. We can't hear you, but we can see you. I want you to know that I'm bringing you a light, a flame, to guide your path into the darkness. Hold out a little longer.
He puts his hand out, and like he's reaching for something, and then he brings it back to his chest. And as his eyes blink, they kind of tighten, narrowing that glow. And it seems to drop the vision down, but you can see his mouth move. Give me a perception and a linguistics check.
Do we have a reroll?
2, actually. 2 rerolls.
I'll do one.
Sure.
Nat 20.
Oh, damn.
Hey!
Damn, very good. I set the DC as fairly high, so yeah, good job. Well done. His mouth moves, and you focus, and you read his lips, and you can almost hear his voice. But what he says, I'm so alone. My body hurts. I fight monsters. I'm lonely. I'm tired. And he looks around, and his eyes open again, and you can see his hand tighten reflexively around this instrument. He brings it up, and it looks just like some kind of sharpened bit of steel somehow he found. The last thing he says is, hurry. And then he starts running into the nebulous void.
Keep fighting. Keep fighting. And then like as I try to say that, you just hear like, I would say it would be equivalent to the sound of like large chunks of ice breaking, where you hear and then like you can see Ulhime's actually the actual gauntlet arm loses the platinum hue and almost looks like it's like stone or like...
Sure.
Yeah, I would say it looks almost similar to stone, and then you just see his face just start cracking as
yeah,
well.
You have pressure
and
cracks
like,
all over your face and visible parts of your body.
As I guess at that point as he runs off, the spell ends, I would say there was like a hard backlash on Ulhime's end. He just gets thrown into the wall.
Sure. You're blown back into the wall itself, and when you finally pick yourself up, you've broken one of the cots in the room, likely Elliot's bed. Elliot's older, mind you, but he's been staying with his family, and he doesn't really know what to do. He's just been watching, and, well, you've just destroyed his bed. So, you pick yourself up, I'm assuming, and You can see
I would
it.
say-
It seems like it's a bit of this like haze, but your eyes are starting to drain that miasma-like sense. When you were close to death previously, and your eye was ruptured, you leaked this miasma of various
Divine
kind of
energy.
haze or energy that seemed to seep away from you. You're approaching that point again.
Yeah. I would say he wasn't feeling pain, he's feeling pressure all over his body. Like if essentially like he's kind of getting the idea like, oh shit, this is what an undead goes through when he gets hit with holy energy, but it's like I guess like a backlash kind of thing. So I would say it's a similar effect where he's like, oh, I just got surged in with my own energy, and like this is painful, right?
Yeah, that's exactly the
Yeah.
state of being.
So it would, I would say, I mean, if I was trying to get up, it wouldn't be without assistance at that point.
Okay.
I would say like it would be like the whole left side is like extremely cracked. I would say that once again the left eye completely gone at that point, and then you just see the orb itself sitting there, and then obviously like the other one is getting to that point where it's cracking on the face, and then the whole other the right side of the arm's got light cracks, but you could see like it's falling into itself, and it's even like withering, kind of like sand.
Okay. Very good. I like it. All right. How do you exit? Do you say anything at all?
As Ulhime gets his bearings, he looks up to them, like you hear like the cracks and stuff as he turns his head. With his faith, I stay alive. And with my faith in him, he stays alive. You will see him again. I have broken my oath once to you. I will not do it again. And as he picks himself up with his right hand, he gets up, and then you hear, and his whole hand just, I would say up to like the elbow, just sand drips away from him, and he just stands and he starts walking. The gauntlet at this point looks like it was made of, yeah, I would say some colors come back, but it looks like it's a rusted metal. Like he had found like some trash heaped pieces of armor, and like he just kind of like glued them on together. Like it looks like that, but you see like this orangish red kind of going through it, and then you can hear the.
Do you return to the bathhouse?
Yeah, I would say. I mean, no, yeah, I would have to. I was gonna talk to the mayor, but that's damaged. So yeah, I would probably go to the bathhouse. I'm not really paying any mind to anyone else. Just making sure I don't fall apart when I get there. When I do, though, I will go talk to Dugobras, if you guys are cool with that.
I want to make sure that I give everybody an equal amount of time here. And we didn't really see a ton, specifically from Klaus and from Cort. So I'm going to give everybody an opportunity to kind of return together. You can take an opportunity to talk to Dugobras, but this is an opportunity for each of you to come together. It's not exactly what you expected. Each of you were hoping to go out to find some answers. Some of you wanted to seek finances as soon as possible, but it's going to take time. Some of you were hoping to have these accusations rescinded, but that's not the case. There's a lot of evidence stacking against Jakob at this point. Some of you know how much evidence. Others don't. So I'm going to give you a chance to kind of somberly funnel back into the bathhouse to discuss what you've heard, what you've encountered. Cort and Klaus will be among the first. Then we will likely see Thelsa, followed by Ronald here as Ulhime. It's silent for a while, which is eerie, especially for the lot of you, who are mostly noisy about everything. Who speaks first?
Klaus would pipe up and say, I honestly don't know how we're going to get Jacob out of this.
Can you think of anyone who'd speak at the trial?
Outside of us, frankly, no.
Is he really innocent? If no one's willing to speak for him, isn't that a bad sign?
Thelsa says nothing but shakes her head no.
103.
Mentions a number.
103 accusations are had against Jacob.
That's a lot.
That's more people that I think he knows in town.
Does it even matter if some of the charges are false? Because some of them are true.
Those are the ones we should focus on, then.
I don't
But
think it really matters.
The fact that he is a demon won't help.
If there's this many people against him, then how can we ensure that 50% of the jury isn't going to be against him? And how
We
are we
can't.
to sway those that are grieving? He's in a bad spot. People are just blaming him for everything that goes wrong because they need something to blame. And we can't go around proving everyone's acts and who had done them.
I'm
It's not enough
familiar with his position, and frankly, things feel a bit hopeless, but I believe if we can show the people there's a larger evil at play, that we are actively working to fight, I should say, to combat and to preserve the town of the horrors that would be wrought upon it else.
What about the guys we let go free?
What do you mean?
Remember the people who tried to kill us when we were sleeping? We didn't kill them.
This is true.
It's a start, at least.
I suppose we can take any friends that, well, anyone to speak on our behalf is better than no one.
And what about the doctor guy? He can't be too far out of town, right?
I wouldn't count on him coming back.
Oh.
Ulhime has sat incredibly quiet. And most of you know that Ulhime's likely the only person that's honestly standing in Jacob's court, and has always been there since the beginning. What do you think of this? I'm curious. He's quick to constantly defend Jacob as a good man, even when he's done bad things. Likely just brushes it off as him being an idiot and needing guidance.
Cort would be along the lines of he's probably trying to think of a way to explain this, at the very least. Because this is a hard one to just write off as Jacob being stupid. What if we caught that Ike guy? Would that be another good deed?
I'm afraid that
don't care about good deeds. They want to see someone pay for what's happened to their families. They don't care if we plan on doing good. They just want to see that someone is punished. Because that's their sense of relief.
What if they punished Ike instead? He's a bad guy.
Yeah, but not everyone sees him as such.
In fact, I'm beginning to believe that we're the only ones that do. But all of this does give me an idea. And it may not be the right idea, but it would at least be something. I could stand in Jacob's place. It's been proven more than once before that I am frankly a little resilient to death. And if they need to see someone hung, let them.
But what happens when you come back?
They don't need to know it's me. They can't exactly tell by looking at me.
But doesn't Jared know that you come back?
He won't say anything.
But who does know and will say?
That would be the key part.
What
if
about
we
the church
scream?
lady?
Did she not? I don't think she's even in suitable condition. She was not great when she came out of that fire. I haven't seen her since.
Frankly, I don't believe we have the kind of support we need. And they won't stop until they see a body. Until they can point to somebody and burden all the blame on them. So, let it be me.
Corda not having a good plan to counter that one is just going to kind of sit there with his sword in his hands, just kind of looking at it.
I can always get him out. But I don't think getting him out of jail is enough.
I agree. There are certainly ways we could spring him, but then what? We'd be on the run from the very town we're trying to save. It's not exactly a good position to be in. I believe this will at least keep them off our case for a while.
What if this is the time you don't come back?
Well, frankly, long overdue, if so, but I don't exactly expect that to be the case. I don't see any reason why now would be different.
Well, they have the magic handcuff things. What if they have a magic rope?
I believe if there were a magic rope to prevent someone from coming back from the dead, they would have used that on my neck long ago. Specifically, if Jared knew about it.
I just don't want any more of my friends to die.
Mm-hmm. That makes two of us. That's why I make the suggestion.
There's some morbidity that hangs in the room. Everybody knows that Klaus is probably right. But at the same time, you can't fathom what it would mean to be hung. On top of that, Klaus, you know that the Drider was alive. And that he's still inside of you. You would be condemning him to death. Admittedly, not all Driders are good people.
Dick move on your part.
But he's also very young. So it's largely your call. I'm going to give you guys some time to think about these things. Have an opportunity to kind of drum up your ideas. Some of you are going to need some more time than others, I think. I implore you here. You should really mull this over. Meet after this game. Not necessarily in our post-talk, but throughout the week and kind of talk about it. Drum up some ideas. Just let it stew, because this one's not an easy pickle to get out of. It's also not one that I've dreamt up. This is wildly overdue.
But we'll do it together.
We'll die together as friends.
Now we'll live together.
I'm going to blink over to our main man in jail. Big homie Shaq over here. What's your record like? What's your jail rep about?
Hey man, you got 3 cigarettes? I got a magic spoon.
What's with you and magic ordinary items?
Look, a magic spoon would be fucking awesome.
What would it do?
There is actually a magic spoon.
It would go
Is it?
into the bowl and up to your
There's
mouth. You wouldn't even have to
Literally a spoon that when you put it into your mouth, the spoon fills with like a gruel.
Yeah, I was
That
gonna say,
actually-
is it a cup of sustenance? Yeah.
Yeah,
Essentially,
That's-
it's
see?
ridiculous, but it's definitely a thing.
it exists.
Was it ever filling bowl or something
Yeah,
like
they
that?
make like an ever-filling mug, but it's essentially
Yeah,
something like
mug,
that.
that's what it
But every
was.
time you put it into your mouth, it
It's-
fills the spoonful of like a gruel or grits, and it's supposed to shake your hunger, but it's not delicious, and you're missing vital nutrients. You will still die from it.
I think Ferris has the right idea. We're gonna sneak a magical long cube into the prison.
You're fired. I have an immediate open position in Shackled City. You have to laugh like a jackass, but other than that, we're good.
I'm just gonna say, without my laugh, this stream would be so much quieter.
You aren't wrong.
I would be able to take my headset off on Wednesday nights and not have a fucking headache.
And possibly even a little more tolerable.
Not me. I will always have a headache after Wednesday nights.
It's a possibility when I'm gone.
I laugh loud. She's qualified. She might be a shoo-in. So, Sniper.
Well, this is over the course of the evening that everyone else has been doing
Yeah.
their thing, right?
Yep.
Well, unless I got any other visitors, it's pretty much same old, same old. I doubt that there's a gen pop for the
Not
prison.
really. No.
Magical
So-
solitaire
You're not even
confinement.
brought food for the rest of the day.
Counter
They don't-
really hates you.
God, if ever there was a time that I had, that I wish I had taken a familiar, this would have been it.
I would eat it.
I want a speckled deer so I can eat it. Then have to wait 24 hours to resummon.
He's gonna go all Thor and smack his goat overnight just to eat it when he's hungry. Just to touch Mjolnir to it. It's like, you're good again, goat. I'll eat you tomorrow. Okay. Do you sleep easy on the cot? Or on this, whatever it happens to be that you're resting upon? Maybe it's even just the floor.
Stone floor.
Yes, Jacob will be able to rest because, well, this is not his first time behind bars.
Sure. Also, you don't have to worry about getting stabbed or attacked or assassinated in the middle of the night. Because there's 3 walls of bars and stone.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yep, and let's be honest, Jared definitely said he was going to go ahead and protect me. And Kiana Green definitely wants me strung up as opposed to just found dead in the cell. She doesn't want to be cheated.
Just before night's watch is over, the door opens leading to the central barrack. And this is generally where they cart, or, all of the guards kind of come from. And a familiar face pops in. It's Kiana's. She leans in. Still doing okay in there? Can I get you anything?
A pillow, a warm glass of milk. An extra blanket would be nice.
I hope you rot. And she shuts the door.
Love you too, darling.
I can get you a warm glass of shut the hell up.
God, I love Happy Gilmore.
Hey. I could have answered a lot more like I would have, so appreciate the effort.
New guards will cycle through. They'll commit to their run at this point and make sure that everything is fine throughout the night. Nothing awry happens. But morning comes swiftly. There is an opening, a bit of a window, mind you, but it is barred. There's no glass in it, so you can't hurt yourself. It's been embedded in the stone. But fresh morning air wafts into your cell.
Too early.
Hey! Jakob. Morning.
Ira.
It's Mir.
Oh.
Mir. I don't know who Ira is. It's not me.
Oh, sorry. Still waking up.
Past love?
We'll go with that, yeah. I'm sure one of them were.
So I think you're about to get a visitor. I could be wrong, but rarely am when it comes to these sorts. Compose yourself. Pick yourself up. It'll be all right.
All right. I'm getting up. Oh. God,
He steps away from the bars. Do you kind of like pat yourself off or do anything in particular? Do you have a routine from waking up?
Yeah, he is going to, first things first, use the facilities,
Sure.
train the lizard, so to speak.
Okay.
Or wait, no, Hydra. Yeah, wash his face, dust himself off, make sure that he's collected, and then he is going to resume his seat on the edge of the cot. You know,
Okay.
holding on to the chain on his manacle and
Give me a
relaxing.
perception.
Oh, good. I love these. Oh, let's see.
That's really good. Okay. Well, you, sir, are very keenly focused. Your eyes fix on his cell. He seems to be up against the wall and peering, like on tippy toes, out the window, the barred windows. And takes about 5 or so minutes, but he sees someone. His attention rises, and he kind of addles around briefly for a moment. Almost here. Right. And he places his hand just through the bars. It's just tight enough for his hand to fit through. And another hand comes up. When it does, darkness paints the cell. About a snap, an instance. It begins to fade. He drops back down to his feet. And he starts walking over to the bars. You're good in there, mate. You fine? You ready for company?
As ready as I possibly can be.
Give me a new perception. Jacob, it takes a second, but you pick up on something a little different. His eyes are different. His eyes are blue. They were very brown before. These are like a pebble blue, very light in color. They don't shimmer, though. They look like they're much darker. Like they've seen some things, experienced far more than the average common petty thief. His hands come up, just over forehead, across cheek, and he begins to pull like a face mask as his face seems to pull away and reveal a woman's face. Pulls back the hood. She has long, red, curly hair.
Is this somebody I would recognize?
No.
Oof, okay. Mir, I don't know what you've done.
Not Mir anymore.
I can appreciate that.
Mir's free. And I'll be free soon enough.
Uh-huh.
You've drawn my attention.
Charmed.
I think you might be. Charmed, that is.
A little bit. I have a weakness for redheads. I apologize.
Most do.
And
It's part of what had me befall into my position. Would you like to find yourself in a similar position? She winks at you.
I'm kind of happy having it black, but I can think of positions.
I'm sure you can.
But back to Mir and freedom and.
Don't worry about him. He's fine.
Well, okay. I'll take you at your word on that one. Have you got a name?
I do.
Would you like to share it, since
No.
you seem to know mine?
No, I don't have to.
All right, then I suppose the flirtation stage is over. What are
No,
you
it's-
here for?
It's only begun.
Hmm.
This is the best part. Anonymity keeps it interesting, wouldn't you say?
I will admit, Strangers in the Night has always been a tune I've enjoyed, but how can I be of assistance?
I represent a particular group of individuals. We're never the first on the scene, but we're certainly there. And we always have the last laugh. Curtain closes. I'll see you next week.
The last laugh showed up. Oh my god.
And this is where we will end tonight's session.
Dang.
And I can hear Christy losing her fucking shit right now.
Oh, she's ladling super hard.
Dude, I can't even talk to the group right now. My face is all broken. Like, it's like that thing from, like, Beetlejuice where, like, they try talking and just, like, my mouth falls off. I'm like,
I definitely want to turn over and just tell you.
I can see how that would go right now.
figure
Klaus
it
would
was
be
a
like,
sound.
oh, thank God, silence.
Dude,
You
one
just
of them.
got Game of Throned.
freaking Innie with his innuendos to Kiana. Oh my god, it's
Hey.
crazy. Freaking Will all about the like just going up in there and be like, we gonna get my friend either through you letting him out or us letting him out. But he's like, either way, a key's going into that hole and it's turning that lock and he walking out. And
Boy,
then
that's
Cort
a
was
little
like,
phallic.
Cort was like, yo, I did a good job. And then freaking Jared's like, hey, you snitched, good job. And I'm like, whoa. Keep keeping it real. And then I'm all like, here's your son, he's in danger. And I'm all like,
See, this is we
Fuck
need
is that
Ronald.
noise?
Ronald, I need you to take that exact line of sentence, and I need you to just say that word for word for the recap next week.
Yeah.
Commit it to memory.
yeah.
That's like if recap was done by Bill and Ted. or
That's crazy.
or
Beavis
Ed.
and Butthead.
Ed from Ed, Ed and Eddie.
Wait, which one?
I know
Yeah.
it. We all know which one he's talking
God,
about.
I
Yes. Yeah, we all
badly
know.
want to do a recap like they did in Ant-Man.
Never saw him in.
Yeah, I haven't either.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
I don't remember Ant-Man.
Yeah, with Louise.
Yeah.
I just want to see, I just want to see a Louise recap.
Still fucking lost me.
Yep.
So it's
Yeah,
one
I
of
know
his thieving friends.
Mhm.
He essentially like tells like a very like half-ass recap of like what happened, but it's always from like his perspective, and it's always like every time a character's talking, it's always in his voice. So like he'll like essentially like with one of them he goes, he's like, yeah, we talking to the homies, right? And then out of nowhere he's like, yo, I know you heard something. And then he's like, so what'd you hear? And then like it keeps like going like on and on. And then essentially like when it gets back to Ant-Man, like he's just like looking at me, he's like, Luis. He's like, what happened? And then he goes, oh, yeah, it turned out like this. And like it's essentially like a super long recap for like a very short like
for like a
yeah.
sentence or two's worth of words that could have been.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. You have to see it.
First time I've heard someone tell me to look at Ant-Man for any reason.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, aside from the fact that they're good movies.
I've
Didn't
heard
say it was
nothing
bad.
good about
You are
Ant-Man.
like the very first person.
I've heard multiple people say it's an awful movie.
Yeah,
I haven't heard anything bad about it. I just have heard very mediocre things.
pretty much the same. That it was just okay. It wasn't exactly necessary for me to enjoy most of the Marvel Cinematic experience.
Agreed. You know, it's not
But I
like
would
Winter
say
Soldier
even-
or anything, but it is a
Even
good
a
movie.
even a shitty Marvel movie is still like a great DC movie. In
I agree with
comparison,
that.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I agree, yeah.
That's fair.
Speaking of great DC movies, I'm excited for Shazam.
I'm not.
That was-
Shazam!
That looks good.
I've got a couple of friends who've gone to the advanced screening. They said it was like just okay. That
Middling.
it was like Aquaman level of good.
Oh, that's
That it was just okay.
It's kind of a shame.
Yeah.
That's okay.
is
I mean, I'll
is a
still
great
give it a shot.
character.
I think
Yeah.
I don't think so. I think Shazam
I-
is just very meh. I've never been impressed with Shazam at all.
I like him. I like the duality of a kid having the powers of a god, and then occasionally switching back to his kid in the middle of the Justice League, going, "Wow, you guys are really fucking serious."
He likes to relate. That makes sense. 14-year-old that kid is 23-year-old Austin. It's the best.
I also like what happens to him in Injustice, and I'm still waiting for DC to finally get the balls to make that movie.
One
Me,
day.
I'm still looking forward to actually seeing. Captain Marvel.
Before we do this, let's get back on topic, okay? All right. We can talk more about the Marvel flicks later in Discord or in another Discord, somewhere in Discord at this point, because it's the only place I talk
We're
to
gonna
everyone.
open up Skype and we're gonna talk about it there.
Not
All right.
happening.
Alrighty, guys, we're gonna
It's
unshackle you
uninstalled.
from your seats, and we're gonna open up some questions if you guys have any for us.
Yeah,
So
go
if you,
ahead. This is
do-
your opportunity. If you wanted to ask any questions
ahead and-
or anything like that, then file it away right now. I'll be right back. Don't do anything too
Hold on. You got the wrong command, Christy. You're looking for this one.
Don't do anything too stupid. He doesn't know this group well, does he?
Fucking raid call, man. I haven't thought about that shit in years. Got bought by Russians and no one ever heard about it again.
AIM. Everyone log on to AIM Messenger.
Sounds like my early life.
Let's all hop on an
Russians.
Uhu call.
Oh, we need to get.
Karami asked
I've never had
Sniper,
Uhu
how much
Java.
were you expecting your visitor Nab?
I was actually almost, I want to say 70% sure that Namthatorn was going to get involved in this. So far, I've been pleasantly surprised. He is catching me completely off guard with the last laugh. And the more I think about it, the more I think, yeah, Jacob may want to lean back on his criminal background.
Makes sense. Dude,
Yeah,
I
the
just
city that
realized-
he was from previously, he was in a group that was very similar to the last laugh.
God bless Prophet.
I just realized if I get Dugobras to head into the domain of protection to help Jimothy, we're gonna essentially be Arclight skins for D&D. Glowing eyes, covered in gold, white, got it going on.
Yeah, I don't think you're going to go ahead and piss off the Fire Nation quite like that. I think you're going to be like Dugobras. Later, bro. Bam, kill him.
No, I mean I already have a ceremony and stuff set up for him.
Yeah, Ice Hammer to the head.
No. When you will know when it comes.
You can't wish him to be dead if he's dead already, forehead.
But yeah, I was like super like, damn. Tonight was like another good session. It's fucking good. Anyone else got any questions? Go ahead and shoot them out. We still got some time before.
This is your opportunity, yeah. Get anything out there that you'd like to. Austin is still technically there. He's just kind of wondering. He's got everything that's mobile, so you can...
I had to wander over to my restroom.
I'm curious, for you guys, how do you feel about heaps of non-combat sessions?
I'm fine with it.
Dude, like I said, I would prefer doing sessions like this than us having like 10 sessions where it's like you go into combat, you rest 10 minutes. I'm like, all right, then you're in the combat again. Then you got to rest 10 minutes.
I like-
Then you're in combat once more.
I enjoy combat sporadically when it's things like we have to go in and fight Ike. We have to, like, I like periods of combat followed by periods of non-combat.
I think it's less an idea of combat versus roleplay, as much as we try, we hate those sessions where the character feels like it's absolutely totally useless. Like when it came to Jared.
As a fighter, I have no idea what you're talking about in these totally skill-oriented times.
Yeah, as I was saying, playing Jared, for instance, I preferred combat because that's where he shined.
It's where he excelled. I don't know. I like Jared for a lot of reasons. Jared has a lot of roleplay features available to him. I mean, it may seem very simple, but it's more than that, right? Like, Jared was in a lot of ways a good guy that was just kind of misguided in a lot of ways. He just
Jared
needed an
was a
opportunity.
good guy. Jared was a good guy who was repeatedly being fucked by circumstance.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that it's more me fighter, me dumb, Christy. I'd say the name is called fighter. Fighting is what we want to do.
Yeah, well, wizards don't just whiz.
Yeah, but their name also
we do that pretty often, though.
Yeah.
I don't
Sorcerers
know.
do
A few
so-
times
so-
a
I don't
day
know.
sometimes.
Plenty of times I've looked at Klaus and thought piss for brains.
Look, man,
I personally like
wizards
picking
have notoriously small bladders.
I like picking a combat class because I like combat.
But
I
no,
like
that
seeing
having-
all the fucked up shit D&D has for us to fight.
Well,
You're not
Well,
gonna
that having
like
been said-
you will not see all of the like that. That's the thing
Yeah.
is, even as we close the gap on as many things as you could fight,
Oh,
people
yeah.
are just so busy
there's-
dreaming of other things. But if you just want to run through like a combat scenario,
No. I take it when it happens. When
Yeah.
it happens, I'm here for it. I love combat. When it's not here, hey, I'm here for it. I like it. But do I prefer combat? Yeah. I can't.
I personally live for the RP strife. The fact that you guys are actually at a crossroads of not really knowing what to do because something much larger than a basic enemy is before you. This is gold to me. This is perfect. It's everything that I want and love about tabletop gaming.
If you want an example, dark side of a fighter who isn't just shit for brains, imagine a character based around like the Goblin Slayer kind of character. Someone who uses traps, who thinks ahead of time, and who comes prepared for fights. There are fighters who do that.
Well, I mean, I think he's
They're
saying
called
that.
Rangers.
He's not saying
No,
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm saying, but in that same vein, that's what you're kind of looking for. Someone like Goblin Slayer.
That having been said, while I'm not either or when it comes to combat and RP scenarios, I do like RP scenarios. We just keep running into those sessions where it's leaning very heavy just towards one or two characters. Mostly because only one or two people are really taking things up.
We also like.
I'll admit, I am really loving this format that we've been doing over the last couple sessions where we give
Everybody
a
gets
little
their
time to
time in the sun. Yeah, in the spotlight.
Right.
I have a question for Ronald.
What's up?
Did you expect things with Jimothy to go better than they did?
No. So I mean, I expect. I mean, the way it turned out was simply just that. Like, it turned out that way. I was either going to be able to, like, I either wanted to see him, so that way his parents can know what's going on, or I can bring him there for even a brief moment for them to say, like,
I mean, along
Hey,
the lines of, did
like-
you expect for him to be in tatters, wishing?
yeah. I mean,
and
I
hoping.
can visibly see it on my gauntlet.
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
right now. Like, so it's not a thing of I wonder if he's okay. It's he's still in trouble. Like, I need to find help, which is why I'm trying to talk to Dugobras about sending him there.
That's something that I wonder if the viewers actually caught on to when you said that you were you're preparing to send a light, that you were going to bring a flame to the darkness.
Yeah.
I mean, I picked up on it immediately, but I wonder if any of the viewers picked up on that his intentions are to send Dugobras to this plane. It's going to be difficult swaying him. He believes that his life is currently forfeit, so convincing him to follow
That
something like this is going to be a little hard.
Yeah, and I mean, it's I guess in a sense, I don't know. I mean, not to say that it's going to be easy, but I don't think it's going to be as hard as. I don't know if I don't want to say like as hard as you think, but I guess that's the only way to kind of word it, where he doesn't see death of the physical body that he has as death, because he knows if this body goes, his flame goes somewhere else, most likely to a native plane. But obviously that's why, like, when I talked to him, like, look, like, you were exiled. If you go back, they are going to kill you. I understand that. So, like, to me, it's not a thing of, like, I know I'm killing him. Like, he's going to be executed on this plane. I told his king, yes, I will kill him on our plane. Like, those are my words.
Yeah.
So when that body dies, that's it. So if he goes to the domain of protection where Helm's Throne and Jimothy are, then that's it. Like, he can't be like, oh, you tricked me. It's like, well, no, I didn't. I told you exactly what I was going to do. I fulfilled it. And it wasn't even me being sly. Like, it was just plain as that. Like, yes, I'm obeying your laws, but I also need. I'm gathering followers. I'm building more than just an army of orcs. I'm potentially trying to build a gathering of faith believers at this point. I'm telling you though, once I get that shield, like, Jared and Kiana better, like, watch the fuck out, because at that point I'm not considering them like people anymore. Like, once Helm's shield is finished, Helm's Law starts, and Helm's Law is not their law. Like, fucking
You think
New Order is coming into Cauldron.
Do you think that there aren't people that are stronger than Helm? Or
I know there are. I mean, I'm like, Ulhime is trying to be a new god. He's trying to be a new god. He understands that. He's not trying to, like, he's not being like, oh, I got my phylactery shield thing. Pharasma, we throwing hands, get the World Star clip ready, like, it's gonna go down. Like he's not doing that, but it's in a sense where once he establishes a certain, I guess paragon of power that he understands, or I guess a certain apex of power, certain things within, I guess, his morality are gonna shift to certain people's views as to how they see their laws aren't going to apply to him. He's going to start focusing on his domain laws, what his definition of protection is going to be, what his definition of strength is going to be. And if those don't align with the people that are standing against him, he's going to make sure they either move out of the way, or he's going to push them out of the way.
I want to say that
it sounds evil, but I don't realistically think it is.
I'm seeing growth in pretty much everyone's roleplay. I do have to do a little bit of goading still, but that's fine. I'm not necessarily needing everyone to just kind of step up to the plate and be this massive showman. But it's good to see that you guys are all kind of growing as role players. It's nice. I'm enjoying it. I think I don't want to speak to what everybody else thinks, but I believe that the viewers are also enjoying it. That being said, the world continues to move. And what you're doing right now is not the story. Okay? Like, there are things that are happening inside of the world that the book has told me that you're supposed to have already investigated. Ike leaving the church after defeating you, if he defeated you, you were encouraged. Like, the book tells me that I have to encourage the players to follow him.
Chase him down, yeah.
Yeah. Because he's a villain. Like, he is legitimately, he's a kind of a bad guy.
Mm-hmm.
So, there are things that are happening, and as much as I'm seeing each of you grow, I have to say, I've got to warn you, and this isn't just me like, hey, combat's coming up. I see some deaths in the future. Roleplay deaths, not deaths where it's sheer numbers, hacking and slashing. I see some people that aren't expected to die, potentially dying. Now, I know each of you have kind of grown attached to your characters. Some of you more than others, admittedly. Some of you just are just kind of riding along, you know, trying to wait for your story to kind of happen. But each of you have so many things that are happening in the world individually right now that I want to reiterate and emphasize that your deaths are on the table. Sniper, I mean, you obviously know that Jacob's is before you.
Potentially.
Yeah.
And I mean, like I completely understand what you're talking about. Like the story is still happening even when we're not engaging it.
Yes.
But I feel like at the same time, it's kind of like we're at a point where we have to close a chapter on the old flurry.
Yeah. You know, you're 100% right.
Progressing forward, and it's kind of like that thing where it's like we're picking up the pieces of an old group, and it's nothing like, I'm not like trying to like berate, like push it on like Klaus or anything, but that's essentially what it is. The old flurry isn't anymore. Like our new group is literally fixing those issues, but because we're associated with Klaus, the town still sees us as, oh well, you guys, whoever you are now, you're still the problem of the flurry because Klaus is there. And it's like, well, that's where we're trying to prove you wrong. That's why we're trying to fix all the stuff that's happening. And
I wouldn't even say that.
I mean, that's what it is.
I would argue
like, that's
what we're
what most
doing
people
right
still
now
see us as.
is our own prep work.
No, and that's true. Like I said, that's true. But at the same time, like getting the guild house done, that was supposed to be the old flurry. We're the new group taking on the mantle of fixing that bathhouse. The issue with the vampires that was left lingering was the old flurry. We, in order to keep the people safe or whatever people are left, we have to go and kill those vampires.
They call us the Redeemers.
Oh no, I mean, I will give credit where it's due. There are things that kind of are left over, problems that the quote-unquote old flurry never fixed. Mm-hmm. But no, a lot of what we're doing right now, we could have immediately gone and picked up with the story, but we're handling other things that are
vital,
important to wrap up. Like Ulhime needing to go to the plane of fire, things going on with, Dougal Bras needing to go ahead and get his new gauntlet forged. Cort needing to go ahead and have his moment with Jared and becoming, Mr. Skellering. Thelsa being a fucking
murdering her whole family.
With her whole family.
Not only that, I also got a date with
Yeah.
Good job on that, by the way.
Thanks.
Go ahead and
one
see
night
if
at
you
a
can.
time.
Yeah, see, make sure you go ahead and throw down that good, just put a few good words in for me.
I've watched any stream enough. All he does is he walks up to her and just goes, and then that's it. From there, it's
that weeaboo shit don't work on her, all right?
Is that a fucking challenge?
Yes.
Dr. Zavago says this session did read as one big catch-up for party fuck-ups, but since I haven't seen much of this campaign, I'd reserve judgment on what is essentially a big RP session. I mean, you're not wrong, right? Like, I say we because I'm along for this story. They're paying for their past transgressions, the things that they have started and not quite finished. It was like Jared said, you aren't very good at cleaning up after yourself. And even Mir said, you leave a big trail. I know some people that could help clean your mess up.
I'd say the only thing we haven't caused were the tax hikes, and we're about to be causing a tax hike. So
yeah, Helm's initiative is about to look real gritty.
Because the people loved when they got taxed last time.
Well, I mean, that's assuming, like I said, that's assuming we can, I guess, head it off.
As of right now, we're getting ourselves into a more comfortable. Yeah, we're getting into a more comfortable position to move forward with not as many tags in our wake. Yeah. I mean, it seems pretty obvious to me that what Ron wants to do is tackle and finish the vampire threat.
100%.
Yeah, and then maybe get Jacob out on the side.
I mean,
that's still important to him. Like that, I feel like they're literally sitting right next to each other.
Look, best case scenario. This is what we do, right? We let you hang for like a couple of days. All right. I use some of the income, buy some diamond dust. Boom.
I feel like that. I feel
you
like
come
that
back.
word was chosen for.
You served your sentence. You hung. You know. They
Yeah,
can't
because
kill
we
you
had
again. It's
so
double
much luck finding that diamond dust the first time around.
It's
I
double
still-
jeopardy.
And
They can't charge you
I am
again.
so pissed that Thelsa didn't point out. Oh, well, as far as reparation, the man did go to hell specifically
Cort said
to
that.
save Jimothy's life.
Yeah, Cort told that to Skellerang.
Oh, he also brought down Celestia. Oops,
Yeah.
forgot to mention that whole
Yeah,
thing.
and forgot to mention that's why he got stabbed in the
I
middle
mean,
of the street by cultists.
realistically, he didn't do it. It was a prophecy that was fulfilled through a bloodline. I mean, I don't know if it's like I know
His
it's kind of like a
fault.
meme that it's his fault, but it's like
in story
it's
wise,
not
it's
his
not
fault.
really
Christ.
his
How hung are you?
Christ.
About 48 hours.
I claim that this is a kangaroo court.
72
We
on
need an
a
entire
real
new
good day.
system. They have no evidence here. This is garbage. I demand a retrial.
Thank you, Dr. Zvago. I appreciate that, buddy. We try to run as often as we can here, and I'm not sure how much of this you have watched. You said not a whole lot, but this is my longest running game, period, ever. I've
In life. Yeah.
the longest running game aside from this is half this length. So I get to test a lot of things on them, and admittedly, those first 85 sessions, 84 even, I'm not even sure what's actually been recorded or not. They weren't, it was all for the love of the game, right? And
we
it was
didn't even have the same cast. We had a rotating cast at a while
at
there.
some point, yeah. And I mean, how long have we been like
As a full
cast? Yeah.
I want to say since like episode 50. It's Ronald joined the last, right? Or was it Sniper?
Well, we had
I was
We had
the
Dan,
last member
though.
to join,
Yeah.
but I got cycled out because I had to move.
Yeah.
Yeah,
then-
and Ronald Will
I
cycled
can't-
that at one point, but
No, Will didn't
you
cycle
were-
out.
Not cycle out, but he dropped for a few months because of the whole class.
11 sessions.
Ronald, you came in before Theoden's Cave, didn't you? I think. He was there at the Lucky Monkey because of the whole, or not the Lucky Monkey. He was there with Dan because of the whole. We thought you were our friend. That whole line.
He was there during the Clockwork Citadel.
Yeah.
He was there in the kitchens with, oh God, what was the goblin that went ahead and raped
That was-
Fareed?
I know who you're talking.
Oh, you mean the
God.
dwarf
Casmogen.
troll?
Yeah, Casmogen.
Casmogen. He was there for Casmogen.
Was Ronald there for any jumping on the bed?
No,
I don't think
think
so.
he
No.
was.
So it was somewhere in between Casmogen and any jumping on the bed.
I think
somewhere
he
in that
actually
zone.
came in.
There's a pretty large delta there.
I think he
Yeah.
actually
But, like,
came
at
in
least
like
it's-
4 or 5 sessions before I did.
Regardless,
Did he?
we have played 154 sessions, each session a minimum of 4 hours long.
Yeah.
Tonight we
I'd
got
say this
started a
group
little
is-
late, but we had a number of sessions that still went 6-7 hours.
This group's been together at bare minimum 100 episodes, I'd say.
Yeah,
I'd
it
say
feels-
that
it
we
feels
have at
about
least
right.
100 episodes together. Probably more.
Yeah. We're a bunch of fuck ups, but we're fun fuck ups.
Well, that's somewhat
Fun
true.
to certain viewers.
And hey, we're the test bed for a lot of the shit.
They totally are.
But-
Admittedly, like
Yeah.
they run the gamut of my ideas, and I get to test out a lot of these things here. So luckily, they've been kind. They've rolled with a lot of punches.
Yeah, and the shit that works, then he takes it off to his big streamer games throughout the rest of the week.
Well, I mean, I can't keep people interested in this game for the life of me.
The fuck ups in the dark. I feel that. We're the
Sometimes you
Bumble
can't even
Fox.
keep us interested in it. So
Fair
it's
enough.
okay.
Yeah. Fair enough. But we learn, and we grow, and we try to introduce new
We've been
things.
getting better. We've become more interesting as time goes on.
See, that's the thing is like that I think is what shows our growth is that we're no longer like upset at the fact, and we can admit it, like, there have been times where there's been a lull in the story, or it's just been not as exciting. But now,
And after 154 episodes, if there was nonstop action, people's necks would be broken.
I don't know. I mean, aside from, I think only a handful of sessions, and I mean like literally no more than 5 or 6, we've always started off on a high note and left on our cliffhanger.
Now, if the question was given to us, what would you guys say has been your favorite moment over the past 154 episodes? If you had to, the first that you could recall to your mind, that's like, this is when I was enjoying this game at its peak.
Oh, did the bit boss go down? Yeah, it did.
Fareed having wild magic constantly.
I don't even know what the dead boss was at.
For like the 2 or 3 sessions that he was alive at that point. Oh, he was a fucking marvel.
Dr. Zhivago, thank you so much. You've been subbed courtesy of Furus. You're officially a Bub subscriber, man. Welcome to the Bub Club. Hop up in the tub, boss. Welcome in.
One of my far-reaching favorite moments was Bub rolling 7 1s on the lightning bolt.
Fuck off. Oh my god.
No, because
It
that moment
still tilts me.
It was so great to have us all sit there and you saying, "Oh boy, I hope you're ready. This is gonna be a lot of damage.
This is gonna, this is gonna be 7d6, and it's gonna hurt.
7 damage."
Yeah,
and you're
because
like, I fucking quit.
The other half of you were supposed to take half. You were all standing in water. Like, oh, what's half a 7? Nothing. Fucking nothing. You take nothing. This game is stupid. The dice are against me. It was immediately
followed up by any blowing out his eardrums with those sound jars too. The whole Blibdipulp temple was amazing.
Blibdipulp can suck my fucking dick. Okay.
Oh man.
Wait, that's when Klaus died for the first time.
Yeah.
Is when I blew him up with the sound jars.
Curses, poisons, and traps. That was...
Well, it wasn't the first time, but it was one of the times that I died.
The first time Klaus died.
Thank you guys for sticking around tonight. I'm going to make sure I'm going to give everybody a little bit of extra.
I don't think so.
It was, because the only... Cromwell died before that.
Yeah.
But that was the first time Klaus died.
I think you're wrong.
I'm pretty sure I'm right, because that was the only time I was ever worried about killing someone.
Yeah,
I've never run
I
across
became
a
arty
session,
before that.
Do you count
very clearly
the snake
not
sigil?
correct.
Do you count the snake sigil?
but back to the 7-1s thing, I've never run across a game that is more concretely confirmed how bad of a luck I am. Ever since I got into these games,
even when you're being hit, you exude.
Okay, all right. I've got to. When I'm just sitting here, I've been thinking this entire time, like, what are some of my favorite moments?
Yeah.
Honestly, it's more recently than I can even admit. There've been 3 like standout moments that I just think it's like, I can't believe that just happened.
Was
the
one
first,
of them Innie's mic drop?
Hold on. The first was Ronald saying, "I've been many things," and then going into combat. Like, that was spicy. That was like that was that good right there. That's what we've been waiting on. The second was Innie's mic drop with I remove things from my past. That was super recent. But the third, and the one that I still giggle about, and I'll look at Leslie, I'm like, I fucking can't believe that happened. Like, that should not have happened. Was when Sniper was like, "No, it's fine. I'll do it. I'll sacrifice myself." And Klaus was like, "Fuck you, yeet!"
Dabs falls backwards, bitch.
And he sacrifices himself. That was I still look at Leslie like, I can't believe that fucking happened. I've never seen such a thunder-stealing moment.
And just think, I'm about to do it again. You get nothing.
You can't even die without him stealing your thunder.
Jared, you stole fizzy lifting drinks, and for that you get nothing.
You get nothing! God. Nothing! Good day, sir! You lose!
Y'all a bunch of fuckers.
Those are the 3 moments. Like, there are others that kind of reach out to me. Like, if I'm recalling some of my favorite moments, was when Innie was turned inside out.
Yep.
Innie was turned inside out and then reverted back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that
and
moment.
In that same kind of moment, catching.
Yeah, it was a constant.
Me catching him and turning into blood mist.
Yeah. Or even more recently, when Ulhime, thinking that he's pretty much God at this point, a god, grabs onto this black bizarre thing with manacles on it and his thumb touches it, and then it
just
falls away. And he's like, that's not good. And he's like, hold on, I need to look at this closer. Blinded for 2 hours. Well, fuck, we should not fuck with this. This is way more intense than most bosses we've ever fought. That right there, like, I'm waiting for you guys to put that in priority. That right there is a fucking spicy meatball waiting to happen. Ooh, it's gonna be good. Yeah. But that's like, those are some highlights to me. It's honestly, like, every game has
There's so many
moments that
There's
is
so
just like,
fucking many.
I want to be that guy that finds other tabletop players and tell them, like, you've played tabletop, you haven't played this game. You don't know these guys.
Every time I bring up this game, there's a different story to point out. Like, oh, this shit happened. Because, oh my god.
Bub, have you ever
Like,
considered...
any soloing a black fucking plague dragon.
Yep. Have you ever considered making a video on your own insights and lessons learned to maintain a long-term campaign in terms of player interest post 50 to 100 episodes? I have some challenges in that vein myself. I have thought several times about creating original YouTube material. And I have a lot of ideas, a lot of things that I feel like some other DMs could say, but my problem is that I don't immediately have what I think is the free time at the moment, and two, I don't have the editing skills at all to create those things. And I want to be able to make them available to people, but I don't want to just like half-ass or lackluster it together, because if it's going to go on my YouTube, it's got to be something that I want to be proud of, you know. I want to encourage people to go watch these things, and well, I've got, you know, right now, like, completely honest, my YouTube is pretty much entirely ran by Christy. Christy does, I want to say, 85% of the voting on this channel. She does all of the naming. She gets all of the screen caps from my graphic designer, and she handles everything. She's honestly a godsend, and I'm grateful, because this is really a thankless job more than anything. And he handles this particular game a ton. So between him and Christy, they kind of bounce back and forth, but she's handled everything. Anytime I'm like, hey, Christy, can you VOD this? She's on it, like, without even question. And that's amazing. But when it comes to like creating YouTube material, it's not just 40 minutes of, you know, a fat guy sitting there talking. You know, there are pauses, there's breaks, there's scene changes, there's things thrown up into it. All of these things occur, and I don't know how to do that, nor do I honestly have the time to make that. And on top of that, I don't have the money to get the programs or pay someone to do it. So there are a lot of things that are kind of stopping me at the moment. In due time, though, I'll figure it out. When things kind of level out, I'll figure it out, and we'll get around to it. I'm hoping that I can do it before the end of the year. But if all else fails, anybody who wants to talk to me ever about anything regarding tabletop gaming, within reason, I don't need to know about every time you've thought about a tabletop game. But if you have a question, you need a ruling, a consort of sorts, you can ask me. And this is a good time to push my agenda here of making sure I can pay my bills. Contribute on Patreon. There's the link right there. If you contribute at the right level, I'll sit in with you and I'll help guide your game. Okay? I just will. You can do it. Just hop right in and contribute whatever level you like. $1 all the way up to like as much as you want. But it kind of caps out for me at $200. If you want to give more than that, 1, you're wealthy. 2, you're a little nutty. Yeah.
And 3, he doesn't kiss on the mouth.
I tend not to, unless, of course, you're married to me. Yeah. So, consider supporting. It keeps the stream alive, for one, and it keeps the stream alive. Without that support, I can't do this. I can't afford to continue paying for the pro version of Roll20. I can't afford for the pro version of Zoom. I can't get any of the graphic work done. Like, all of your contributions go to bringing all of this together. And it may not seem like much, but it adds up. So thank you so much. And share it. If you want this stream to grow, if you want to afford me the opportunities and you don't have the finances, show up to the streams and tell new people about it. That's the only way that we can get this thing to grow. That's part of the reason that I started doing the streamer games. So I can meet new people and have an opportunity to share my passion of tabletop gaming with them. So consider it. Share new people. Tell an old friend, a new friend. Tell your mom, your sister, your neighbor. I don't care. Someone finds something interesting here. Bubfest 2019 is September 13th. It is Friday the 13th. And it will be in Brown County, Indiana. Hopefully, I can get most of these guys out here to join us. I know right now, Innie's showing up. I would like to think that Sniper is showing up. Go ahead, Innie. I hear some doubt. I see it on your face.
Decided I'm instead going to RonCon.
Motherfucker! Okay.
Yeah, we all decided to go to RonCon.
We didn't want to tell you until it got closer because, well, we didn't want to deal with you getting pissed off for the next.
Yeah, cat's out of the bag now. But
7
hey,
months.
you can meet us at RonCon 2019.
Or you could not.
That's like the
Be a
week
lot
before
cooler if you
TwitchCon.
didn't.
The week before TwitchCon, I mean, honestly, in that situation, it was either that PAX or that TwitchCon. And I can't go to TwitchCon because I'm fucking broke. Guys, I gave $45,000 to Navient last year to pay off my student loans, and I just can't swing it. Like, it's just not in the cards. So, unfortunately, them's the breaks. I've already paid for pretty much everything for Bubfest. It generally costs me about $1,400 or $1,500. And I'm probably going to spend a little bit more so I can make sure that I can buy props or anything necessary to make it happen. But come out. It doesn't take anything. Plan ahead for school. I know some of you are going to be in school at the time. Plan ahead for school. Take care of your coursework early. Talk to your teachers. If you have a boss, tell them, hey, this is 6 months out, but I'm going. Work with me here. I don't need PTO, but just like a day or two off, and I'll be Gucci. Just work around it. It's fun. It's a nice break away from everything that is the internet.
And genuinely, people, I've gone to the last 2 Bubfests of the 3 that we've had so far.
Yeah, we've had 3.
Yeah,
This will be the 4th year.
And I've never, there's never a dull moment. It's never a bad time. I don't know anybody who's been there and had a bad time. Yeah, Bub throws a really good shindig.
Yeah, if you're broke, I wouldn't suggest just like hitching a train. That's not what I would suggest. I would say, however, we could coordinate and find people where you are, so we could try to line up carpooling. I know that if you're comfortable or you're okay with the idea, you can split the gas. Make it a little easier on yourself. We've had people drive from as far as Sacramento, California. That's a long fucking trip. From Sacramento to Indiana, you're talking, ooh, kid, that's a drive right there. So yeah.
Don't talk about drives. 20 fucking 2 hours to get to Indiana. It's a long fucking ride.
We'll figure it out. If you'd like to come out, I'm sure we can find someone that's in and around the Oregon area. I know Panda's already bringing like 5 people himself. But just so happens now that half of them live with him. Yeah. We'll figure it out.
And I think this is the year that we actually have people coming from other international countries than Canada. I think that's already been confirmed. Like we have one person coming from Australia.
Do we? I'm not sure if we do.
I thought we did.
I think the plan. Someone wants to come out from Australia, but I haven't gotten confirmation just yet. Either way, we're supposed to have like 3 or 4 people from the UK, so that's fun.
Well,
But-
they keep promising, but they keep breaking our fucking hearts.
We've stayed on a little too long at this point. I'll let everybody go off and do their own thing. We're gonna get out of here. We've pretty much done our post-show talk. Am I able to ask? Yes, it's in Brown County, Indiana. Brown County, it's Brown County State Park. Here, I'll ping it here. Brown County State Park, Indiana. There you go. So check it out. I will get a flyer up. Yamato and everybody else who's curious, don't worry about it too much right now. Just make sure that you know that it's Friday. That's an incorrect document. It's out of date.
Fuck.
It's out of date. Do not take that document. It is out of date. That's why I didn't say that. So, I'll get it updated very soon. It's just a matter of making sure that everybody knows that it's Friday the 13th. It's going to be in September. So, plan around it. if you stick around longer, I'll show you my side of town. I'll take you back to my place. You can see my nerdvana, my streamed in. We can do some board games, card games. We can play this neat game where we turn off the lights. It's called Who's in My Mouth. We'll talk more about it later. Either way, I love your faces. Thank you guys for coming out. I appreciate you so much. And we just got raided by Yukador. Yuke!
Yes.
Brother, thank you so much for the host and the raid. I'm actually ending my stream, though. Infectious, what's going on, man? I'm actually, oh my goodness, I'm actually ending my stream right now. Torque Hogan sends his, all right, brother. Yeah, I'm sorry. We're actually ending right this moment. No, it's all right. It's all right. Thank you so much for choosing my stream. Of all places. Yes, let's see who's online right now. I'm going to go to my face. You guys can do that thing. I clicked on the wrong thing again. Disregard me. All right. I appreciate you coming out. Thank you for being here. I'm just going to go ahead and hit someone with a host and pass into the Discord. I don't even know who's online at this point. Let's see. That's my face. Don't want to see a whole lot of that. Okay, we're just going to hit a host right here. Host, okay, Luigi. Thanks, guys, for everything. I love your faces. We'll see you tomorrow, okay? Take it easy. Peace. We're out of here.